following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Football on the Big Ten Network is powered by Unleaded 88. Today from Ohio Stadium in Columbus, it is senior day. It's number 2 undefeated Ohio State taking on the 5-5 Minnesota Golden Gophers. It is a beautiful, beautiful late November Saturday here in Columbus. Ohio State and Minnesota coming up. Sold out crowd per usual here at the Shoe. And we are almost set for kickoff. But first, let's enjoy today's national anthem. Beautiful rendition of our Star-Spangled Banner from the Ohio State University Marching Band. Buckeyes, Gophers, 3 minutes away. Kickoff is approaching on the Big Ten Network. Welcome to the final stretch, where every drive is a statement made. Touchdown, Ohio State! Marvin Harrison Jr.
In my opinion, he's the best player in college football.
Every touchdown, an opportunity to bolster your status. And every contest, a chance to cement your legacy. So, leave your B game at home. Because from here on out, the road to your dreams only gets steeper. Beautiful setting here at Ohio Stadium. It is Ohio State and Minnesota coming up today here on the Big Ten Network. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Alongside Jake Butt, I'm Corey Provis, Brooke Fletcher from the sideline in just a second. It's been a magical season for the Buckeyes, Jake. 10 games, 10 wins so far. All their goals they set out at the beginning of the season are still very much within reach. It's been a great year, and today we'll see a magical player in Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's right, and of course it is the game before the game. The final test. Is it a trap game? Well, let's go look at Michigan. Had their hands full with Maryland this afternoon. Of course, Ohio State had their hands full last year in this position against Maryland. But in the spirit of a trap game, how does a team handle it? Well, you lean on your best players, your leaders. What does that mean? Expect a big game out of the Heisman candidate, the best receiver in college football, Marvin Harrison Jr. What better way to settle your spirit and your nerves in a trap game than to have 18 down on the field? Get him involved early. That's going to be the recipe.
And for more on the Heisman Trophy candidate, we set it downstairs to say hi to Brooke Fletcher.
Here comes the sun. That's the foundation of Marvin Harrison Jr.'s Heisman campaign, and it was kicked into high gear after that historic performance last week versus Michigan State. Now, there haven't been many wide receivers to win the prestigious award, but for Ryan Day, it doesn't matter. He said he's the most outstanding player in college football. We are a better team when he is out on the field. Now, if you ask Marvin his thought on the subject, he said, I haven't really thought about it. He said that I am just thankful to be in the conversation, but I've been telling you guys my goals all season long. It's to beat that team up north and get to a Big Ten championship, guys.
All right, Brooke, thank you for that. Don't forget to download the Fox Weather app. Gorgeous day here in Columbus. Sunshine, light winds, 50 degrees here at game time. Minnesota won the toss and will take the ball first. More than 100,000 strong. Wrapping up the 102nd season here at Ohio Stadium. Jaden fielding, the sophomore will send it away. Quinton Redding awaits near his own goal line. 55th meeting, Buckeyes, Gophers, and we're underway here in Columbus. And no return as the Gophers will start with the ball from their own 25-yard line. Redshirt sophomore quarterback from Antioch, Illinois, Ethan Kaliakmanis will lead the Gophers out of the field. Kaliakmanis, you look, some numbers, Jake, are down, but his last two games, he's thrown 6 touchdowns and, most importantly, no picks.
And that's the key, right? Taking care of the football, that puts your team at least in a position to win, but the consistent accuracy is the next step for him. You see there the completion percentage, 45%. At times, he's really accurate. At times, he's inaccurate. Of course, there's very little margin for error playing this Buckeye defense.
There's carry for Jordan Newman. And he picks up 2.
Let's take a look at the Minnesota offense, and I want to direct your eyes to 2 guys. Daniel Jackson, number 9, the wide receiver. He's the go-to guy for Kaliakmanis, maybe the most improved player in the entire conference. And then Brev Spanford, the Minnesota tight end, was on all the preseason Mackey watch lists, but has struggled throughout the season. Came on strong late. The offensive line needs to step up. This is a heavy zone scheme with back blocks by the tight ends.
Kaliakmanis will roll and throw it complete. At the feet of Elijah Spencer, it's 3rd down.
And here's the defensive lineup, and of course previewing it right before a 3rd down. This is where they're at their best. JT Tuimoloau, maybe a potential first-round pick. The interior defensive line, Tyleik Williams and Ty Hamilton have stepped up. Steel Chambers is starting alongside Cody Simon with Tommy Eichenberg out. Of course, the back end of the defense, Sonny Styles is the guy to watch, who will be matched up with Brev Spanford throughout the day.
Minnesota has struggled on 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 8. Pressure, steps up. Kaliakmanis is tackled near the 30-yard line. About 5 yards shy of the line to gain. And his 4th down, Tyleik Williams got home eventually for Ohio State. And Minnesota will punt.
It's a good example of this Ohio State defense. So Jack Sawyer kind of got clean around the edge, battling with right tackle Quinn Carroll. Didn't get home. He didn't get the sack, so you don't get that sack number. But the pressure still forced Kaliakmanis to make a decision to tuck it and run and forced a 3 and out. So maybe the sack numbers aren't impressive, but this defense is playing quality unit defense and getting off the field early.
Crawford to boot this one away from his own 17. Jaden Ballard with a fair catch, flag thrown, pulls it down near his own 25-yard line. Our Big Ten referee today is Cole Kneppel. For now, a 45-yard punt. And here comes the call.
During the kick, holding number 15 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st and 10, Ohio State.
It's on Jelani Thurman, the young tight end who had a chance to play late last week against Michigan State. So now we'll see the Buckeyes and this potent offense. Leads the Big Ten in total yards, tops in the conference in passing yards, and Cal McCord coming off his best game as a Buckeye last week.
Absolutely, and it's kind of funny when you think about the offense. Leads the Big Ten in yards. I mean, they're towards the top of the Big Ten in a bunch of offensive categories, and yet somehow we think they're down. Kyle McCord progressing. As you mentioned, Corey, he's played his best game against the Spartans last week.
TreyVeon Henderson. 2nd level and more. Henderson tackled late out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Gain of 15.
And it's not just Kyle McCord that's progressing. TreyVeon Henderson, maybe progressing isn't the right word. He was always capable of it, but the key is his health. I want to make the distinction. He's been cleared to play, but he hasn't been 100% healthy. You've seen in these past few weeks that burst that makes him so special. He's back to being 100% healthy, provides a different dynamic for the Buckeye offense.
Second in the Big Ten in rushing yards per game, as he's wrapped up after a gain of 4 by Tyler Solsky, redshirt freshman linebacker.
Okay, nothing's changed here in Columbus. The skill positions are the headline. They are the stars. We've seen TreyVeon Henderson pop 2 runs here early in the game, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., number 18, the best receiver in college football. Maybe the biggest growth of this offense is the Buckeye offensive line. That's the same 5 guys you've seen all year. Continuity has been their friend, and they've improved as the season went on.
On second down at 6, Henderson, right side, lunging forward, has the first down out to the 41-yard line.
Here's the Gopher defense across the defensive line. These guys will need to step up to challenge that Buckeye offensive line. You need to get pressure on the quarterback when you're facing such an explosive offense. The key here is the linebackers have been beaten and battered with injuries. That's hurt their communication. It's hurt their experience, and they've been out of position.
First pass from McCord, has time. Will swing it out to Henderson. Got by a man down the sideline. So the first pass and catch of the air. McCord finds Henderson, 12 more, another Ohio State first down.
So we said Kyle McCord's coming off his best game last week. Well, here is why. Look at his eyes and his feet, the presence. The game really, to me, when I looked at the tape, it looked like the game slowed down for him, not forcing anything, and then understanding Minnesota's in a great defense for their play call. So he finds his check down late. Here's the great thing, TreyVeon Henderson, what makes him special. It's not just carrying the football. When the ball is in his hands, regardless of how he gets it, special things happen.
Harrison joins the backfield. Chip Traynham out of the pistol. His first touch today. He sheds a tackler. Running hard, the one-time linebacker picks up about 9.
This is where Ryan Day really separates as an offensive mind and an offensive play caller. So as you mentioned, Corey, Marvin Harrison Jr. gets in the backfield. So all the defense is sitting there stressed out. Where is 18 going to go? And as soon as you get the defense on the heels, you got Chip Traynham, the big converted linebacker, running downhill at you. Good luck. You do not want to be on your heels when the ball's in his hands, but that starts with the Marvin Harrison motion.
Gain of 10, so first down. P.J. Fleck was hoping that Ohio State would run the ball today. They've been doing that and picking up big yards. McCord zips it, that's caught near the 20-yard line by Cade Stover. His 35th reception on his 41st target, picks up 16 more with that. Now 1,000 career yards and counting for Stover.
Maybe having one of the best seasons in recent history for Ohio State's offense, and there's the creativity once again. A little window dressing right after the snap. Quick pump fake by McCord, and then a good job by Cade Stover kind of sitting down in that zone. He didn't need to run full speed. The zone was right at the sticks, and the chemistry between him and Kyle McCord has really shown this season.
Third most receiving yards by a tight end in program history. And now Traynham, big gap up the middle. Traynham inside the 10-yard line. And it's first and goal, Ohio State. 11 more for number 19.
This is what they do, man. This Buckeye offense, when they're clicking, it's like a hot knife through butter, right? It looks effortless. We previewed all the weapons on this drive so far. TreyVeon Henderson, Chip Traynham, Kyle McCord. Even without the ball, Marvin Harrison Jr., he's affecting defenses. Cade Stover. And it's just been play after play, chunk after chunk.
7 plays so far, 6 first downs. We haven't seen 18 yet. Top of your screen, as Jake just noted. It's first and goal. It's a run. Henderson inside the 5. Touchdown, Ohio State. The Buckeyes making that look easy to start senior day here at the Shoe.
Making it look easy, huh? That's the standard. That's the expectation. So many weapons, and TreyVeon Henderson. I go back to his freshman year. He looked like one of the best backs in the country, even as a true freshman. Dealt with injuries last year, dealt with injuries early this year. Well, he's finally healthy, and he's proving why he is one of the best backs in college football.
Extra point is good. 30th career rushing touchdown for Henderson. Now a rushing score in 7 straight games.
What a luxury of talent on this Ohio State offense. TreyVeon Henderson doing a lot of the work that drive, and a great block by the tight end, number 88, G. Scott.
Buckeyes strike first. TreyVeon Henderson capping off an 85-yard drive, a 9-yard touchdown run. So now 7 straight games with a score. Marvin Harrison Jr. no touches on that first drive. Enters this one today with a touchdown in 6 straight.
And the other guy with the streak is Marvin Harrison Jr., right? So check, TreyVeon Henderson. Keep our eyes on 18.
And Redding will signal for a fair catch. And the ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Here are today's impact players, brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance.
Wide receiver Daniel Jackson has been having a phenomenal season. Ethan Kaliakmanis looks his way often, particularly on third down. And then Brev Spanford, particularly in the past 2 or 3 weeks, has been playing up to his standard. He's the guy that they love to use in play action. Jack Sawyer, former #1 player in all of high school football. He's a big-time touted recruit. Well, he's starting to hit his stride. I know the stats aren't always there, but Jim Knowles said he's been a big-time piece for this Ohio State defense.
Guys, defense without Lathan Ransom and Mike Hall Jr. here today. Zach Evans, tailback, lines up behind Kaliakmanis. There's Evans. Nice cut, second good cut, and then is tackled by JT Tuimoloau after a gain of 6.
So that right there is a perfect example of Minnesota's offense. It's a zone scheme, meaning there's really no polars. The O-line stepping in unison. And what happens on these zone schemes, particularly on inside zone, those are built for cutbacks. So Zach Evans presses the hole to the right. It's a right side inside zone. Cuts back across the offensive line, then does a little dance with Steel Chambers to make him miss. The backside of the Buckeye D-line needs to hold strong. Evans
here today, his 6th game of the season. Minnesota without talented freshman tailback Darius Taylor. He's out again with an injury today. On second down at 4. Evans tries to bounce it outside. He does. Sonny Styles was grabbing at his jersey. Finally got him down, but a first down as Evans now is slow. Trying to get to his feet.
Timeout for an injured offensive player.
And that's been a common sight for PJ Fleck's team all year long. They've been banged up at running back. As Jake mentioned earlier, thin at linebacker today. And Evans is down. He's being looked at by the Gophers training staff. Will step aside. Minnesota running back Zach Evans, injured on the prior play, was able to get to his feet and now is being looked at inside the medical tent. Let's take a look at today's big stat, brought to you by Cade. 7 different players have rushed for 100 yards or more in a game since 2021. No other Big Ten team is more than 5. And that run began Ohio State, Minnesota, week 1 in Minneapolis in 2021. Mohamed Ibrahim, he ran for 163 before his season ended week 1 with an Achilles injury a few years ago. So Jordan Newman now in a tailback. Newman tries the middle, but then he finds the waiting arms of Jack Sawyer. For a limited time, get a 1-month free trial of the Big Ten Plus monthly conference pass. Stream nearly 150 non-televised events from around the conference, including Ohio State and Minnesota men's and women's basketball and hockey matchups. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to BigTenPlus.com/free month right now for this limited time offer. Loss of 2 on the play.
Notice the play clock. I think this is what PJ was referring to when he said he wanted to shorten the game this week. We've already seen how dangerous Ohio State's offense is, so Minnesota wants to just milk that play clock.
Newman up the middle. He's tackled by Jordan Hancock after a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and about 7 coming up for Minnesota.
This is really where Jim Knowles is so comfortable. So many different things he can do, so much depth. He's got all these different bodies on the field, multiple safeties, blitz packages, and the secondary of Ohio State has taken their game to the next level.
Newman, right side, not happening. Cody Simon got there first, and Sawyer cleaned it up, and it's 4th down. A loss of 1 of the play.
Steel Chambers did a great job. He's walked right up to the line of scrimmage, so there he is, and it looks like he's coming into that A-gap. Watch him read it. Bang, scrapes right over top. Of course, his buddy Cody Simon is the first one to the party. But there goes Steel Chambers, and Jack Sawyer's flexing as well. 3 red jerseys right on the ball and stuffed that before it had a chance to get going.
8 plays so far for the Gophers offensively. 7 rushes, 1 pass. Surprised by that early on? Surprised that the Gophers, Jake, have thrown it only once so far. They've run 8 plays, 7 rushes, 1 pass.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised too, because they took the ball to start the game, Corey, after winning the toss.
Good punt. That's going to be down inside the 5-yard line. Good punt there from Crawford. Special teams unit got down there. A 53-yard punt, pinning Ohio State back. 7-0 Buckeyes, the Big Ten Network. Marvin Harrison Jr., Heisman Trophy candidate, junior, but likely playing at the shoe for the final time with the scarlet and gray. And look at the season he's put together. That's not Big Ten, that's across the college football landscape. Did not have a single touch on the Buckeyes' first drive. We'll see if that changes here inside their own 5-yard line. Henderson up the middle, picks up 3.
You know, the interesting thing about those stats too, Corey, and as it applies to the Heisman race, right? He's being compared to Devontae Smith, the Alabama wide receiver that won the Heisman. Let's go back to the beginning of the year. Remember, the conversation was McCord was struggling to get him the football early, right? It's a brand new quarterback. They were trying to find their stride and their rhythm. A lot of his explosive production has come in the last 6 or 7 weeks. So if you took it on a per-game basis of those recent games and projected it throughout the season, those numbers are even more impressive.
TreyVeon Jones, corner, lines up near him. Here's a toss to Henderson, and he's popped. Good tackle made by the redshirt freshman linebacker Tyler Stolsky. His first start of his career happening tonight with Cody Lindenberg out. And this will be a hold on Ohio State, the second Buckeye penalty here so far today.
Holding. Offense, number 88. Half the distance to the goal. Second out.
Well, Jake, you mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr. and his Heisman hopefuls, and you think about wide receivers that have taken home that honor. Devontae Smith, the most recent to do so since 1991 with the Crimson Tide in 2020. Desmond Howard, 1991. And no reason to think that that guy can't win it. I mean, he has to be in Midtown Manhattan for at least a chance to win the Heisman Trophy with the year he's put together.
Well, if you watch the tape, he should certainly be there. If you're just looking at the numbers, they're impressive. He should be there anyways.
McCord from his own end zone. Nice fingertip catch made by Stover, his second catch here so far tonight. Brooke?
Yeah, Kyle McCord told me this week that nothing even surprises him anymore when it comes to Marvin Harrison Jr. and the success he continues to have this season. He said, listen, I've known him since we were 15, 16 years old, and he's still the same guy. Great person, humble, and hasn't let the game or the notoriety change who he is. He's done a great job handling the spotlight, and he just is really proud of him.
Big third down right now, Brooke, for Minnesota. McCord, pressure, throws high, incomplete. That was intended for Harrison. So after the punt and the penalty, Minnesota forces a 3-and-out.
It was a good job, because after the first drive, it looked like Ohio State was going to have no trouble moving the football today. But a good job by Minnesota, you know, forcing that 3-and-out, because the key is, you know, what offenses are told in these backed up situations is you just want to get that first down at a minimum to give your punt team some space, which they did there. But Minnesota said, hey, we're not going to give you any first down at all.
See, Merkel will punt this away from his own end zone, averaging 43 yards per punt. Redding back at his own 45. Redding with a fair catch and good field position for the Gophers when we come back. 8th in Caliagmanis, Minnesota with the ball when we come back. Football on the Big Ten Network is powered by Unleaded 88, the clean burning fuel choice that's engine smart, earth kind. And by DoorDash. Order during the next break so you don't miss a minute of the game. Corey Probus back with Jake Butt local product around here. If you could DoorDash any local delicacy right now to the shoe, what would it be?
Donato's Pizza. And I know I live in Chicago. They love their pizza out there. Nothing beats Donato's Pizza.
Let's see if the Gophers can do anything with this. Good field position. Cade Manis will throw low, and that's a nice catch made by Corey Crooms Jr. His 27th reception of the season, so the second pass thrown by Cade Manis is a first down.
This is going to be what they have to do today, right? This Buckeye defense is elite, one of the best in the country, so Cade Manis is going to have to be accurate. He's going to have to put it on the body of his receivers, that time Corey Crooms, because what you saw there is Josh Proctor, the high safety. He read that and he triggered. It's going to be tight windows that this Minnesota offense has to take advantage of.
First time the Gophers have been inside Ohio State territory today. Newman finds Steel Chambers and company after a gain of 3. It's been a busy day so far in the Big Ten. Up-to-date standings. Michigan surviving in College Park. They were tested by the Terps all day, but prevailed. And congratulations in the West. The Northwestern Wildcats beat Purdue. David Braun, no longer interim, named the head coach this week, and now bowl bound with their 6th win today.
I don't know if there's a coach in college football, maybe in the NFL, maybe in all of football, that has exceeded expectations the way David Braun has with Northwestern this year. An impressive season.
Chance for the Wildcats to grab a 7th win. They'll take on Illinois and Champaign next week. We'll be there for that. Pressure coming. Cade Manis will throw. That's caught by Newman. He is flattened by Jack Sawyer.
Well, Jim Knowles brought the pressure. Jordan Hancock off the slot. He came in, and it was a nice Mike and Sam pressure blitz. No one accounted for number 7, Jordan Hancock. And you see that? That's Jack Sawyer, the defensive end. Because of the pressure, he dropped out. He was ready, waiting on that pass, and made a big-time hit.
Jim Knowles was telling us yesterday about Sawyer that last year he kind of moved around the D-line, some inside, some outside, but all year long they thought he was best to be on the outside of that D-line. Steps up. Cade Manis trying to shimmy and shake. He'll dive down near the 40-yard line. So we have 4th down and really a long 5. And PJ Fleck telling us this week, hey, we may go for it a bit more on 4th down today. And we'll see if that's the call here on 4th and call it a long 5 coming up.
You see the coverage there and how they first forced 4th down. They walked both linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. Looked like they might bring pressure. And what Jim Knowles has done this year is not always his fastball. The pressure isn't always the go-to call, so he dropped those linebackers out, presented a changing picture for Cade Manis, which forced him to double clutch and have to tuck it and run. So Jim Knowles, who's known for an aggressive defense, sometimes he uses the counter punch off that aggression, particularly this year, to stack the odds in his unit's favor.
So Crawford does punt. Fair catch from Ballard. And we have a timeout. 51 seconds to go in the first. Ohio State football. Let's take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance.
All right, full disclosure, of course, 18, Marvin Harrison is an impact player, but let's go with the next 2 in line. TreyVeon Henderson, not just cleared, he is healthy, 100%. One of the best backs in the country, and I've been loving the way Cade Stover has been playing. He's a Mackey Award semifinalist and has a chance at winning that thing this year.
Nice catch for Harrison. Turns upfield, and is out of bounds. A gain of 19.
This is where the game really slows down because Marvin Harrison Jr. is wide open. Why'd the ball take so long? Well, McCord had kind of trouble with the snap. It was a low snap. He picks it up, but he's not rushed. He's able to be patient and get his eyes out to number 18, Marvin Harrison Jr. And they love to, they were on the left hash there. McCord feels very comfortable throwing to the wide side of the field when it's Marvin Harrison Jr. out past the numbers.
60th reception this season. Becca Buka with a low catch, and he's tackled by Jack Henderson. And around the 39-yard line. And that will likely be the final play of the opening quarter here in Columbus. Ohio State striking first on a TreyVeon Henderson 9-yard touchdown run. After 1 at the shoe, Buckeyes lead 7-0. It's senior day here in Columbus. Welcome back. Ready to begin the second quarter of play. 7-0 Ohio State. And let's take a look at today's trivia brought to you by T-Mobile. Before Marvin Harrison Jr. last week, who was the last player to score Ohio State's first 3 touchdowns in a Big Ten game? So Marvin had all 3 of the first ones last week in that convincing win against Michigan State. Before Marvin, though, last week, who was the previous Buckeye, first 3 scores in a Big Ten game? The answer coming up.
There's a lot of names.
Great names, too.
A lot of first-round talent.
TreyVeon Henderson. He's shouldered down near the line to gain by Stolsky. How about some names? How about some names that are at least going back and forth in that
Chris
line?
Olave, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Garrett Wilson, Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Thomas.
Anderson leaves his feet and will surge for the first down to the 44-yard line.
I think everyone I just mentioned was a first-round pick, too.
Yeah, I think you're on to something.
Collectively, hundreds of millions of dollars in that list of names right there, and a lot of catches and a lot of great NFL production.
What about any mobile quarterbacks that possibly could be on that list?
Braxton Miller, JT Barrett.
Play action over the middle, in stride, it's Ibuka. What a throw from McCord. A quick fire and right down the middle found the junior.
And we kind of previewed it. Watch the Minnesota linebackers. This is the issue with the injuries. They bite too much on that play action, and there's a little bit of space behind. That's all Ibuka needs. Him and Kyle McCord, it seems their favorite route to connect on is these seam routes. Did it versus Notre Dame a few times to set up the go-ahead touchdown. It showed up a number of times this season. Ibuka's got such a great feel on where he needs to be to get the pass from McCord.
Fake the give to Johnson, and McCord throws, and a sliding attempt, and the officials conferring, and that is going to be deemed incomplete. Out of bounds.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Harrison stretching.
Okay.
Has it.
That is close.
Maintains possession through the play.
It looked.
Is that left foot, though? Is that the right foot's down there? Catch. Is he dragging that foot?
That is close.
I think there's a spot there where it looked like the left cleat was
Ruling
down.
on the field is an incomplete pass. The play is under further review.
So the play has been now deemed incomplete. But this is being reviewed. Let's bring in Dean Blandino, our rules expert in Los Angeles. Dean, as we piece this together, for now the call is incomplete. What do you think?
Looking at it, you got established control. Harrison does have control at that point. Is that left toe dragging? Looks like the right foot is up. They ruled it incomplete. It's so close. We're going to get another look here. And again, it's got to be clear and obvious to overturn it. I just don't see enough yet to change this.
All right, Dean, here as we look at this angle here. Yeah, I'm with you, Dean. The right foot is up. But you see some of that tire tread kind of pick up a little bit, Dean, right? Do you see some of that with the left foot?
I mean,
now they can piece angles together here as well, and that left toe appears to be down at this point. What they can do is piece the angle together, show the control is that left toe. It looks from that angle that the left toe might still be on the ground. That's a good look right there. You piece it together with the other shot where you can see control.
Let's go back to the first angle. The first call.
The ruling of an incomplete pass stands.
So, Dean, hang with us here. Just not enough. As we were looking at it, you were doing the same. Just not enough to overturn the call on the field.
Exactly right. You can make a case that maybe that toe was down, but you really want it to jump out, be clear and obvious to overturn it. I think whatever they ruled on the field, you were going to let that stand.
All right, Dean, thank you. Ryan Day in his 5th year, 38-2 record, Big Ten play. action. McCord throws incomplete. That was behind Harrison. And it's third down.
Those second and long situations, it's been a heavy passing tendency for Ohio State. And some teams may just try to run it to get into a comfortable third and manageable, but Ohio State loves to pass it. And he had a little bit of a pocket there if he could have got it to him. To Marvin Harrison Jr. off the play action. Obviously didn't, and now in a third down situation. Check that out. You got one-on-one coverage, press man up top.
Pressure coming off the corner, and that was nearly intercepted by Danny Strigo. So Strigo, a defensive lineman, he dropped back as Minnesota brought pressure from the corner, and Strigo nearly had his second career interception.
Yeah, so I circled Marvin pre-snap, and then all of a sudden they brought the corner pressure. And McCord just missed it because it looked like, Marv was completely uncovered to start that. So when you bring the pressure, all of a sudden Strigo drops out underneath it, and Ryan Seeley got in there as well. A dangerous throw there for McCord.
This will be the longest attempt from Jaden Fielding this year. His previous long attempt was 45. He missed it against Penn State. That's right down the middle, and that is good. Fielding from 47 right down the middle, and the Buckeyes add 3. Second quarter, 10-0 Ohio State. All right, time to answer our T-Mobile trivia question. Before Marvin Harrison Jr. last week, the last Buckeye to score the team's first 3 touchdowns in a Big Ten game. The gentleman you see, there's a hint. P.J. Fleck on the left, Gophers head coach Brian Hartline, offensive coordinator on the right. The answer, Ted Ginn Jr. in 2004. Ted Ginn Jr., teammates, of course, with Hartline. And then 2 years after Ginn did that, P.J. Fleck, he joined his first coaching job as a part of Jim Tressel's staff in 2006 as a GA. In fact, the reason why P.J. Fleck wears a tie, had a chance to work and learn from Jim Tressel and also played for Mike Nolan. Those are the 2 guys he honors each and every Saturday, and why he wears the tie. And going back to 2006, P.J. Fleck, can you find him? Can you find him? There he is with hair. And the upper right. First job coaching, 2006, a GA for Jim Tressel. There's Brian Hartline. And PJ was reminiscing about that time with us this week. Part of his job every day was to bring Raising Cane's chicken to Jim Tressel's office each and every day. But in Jim Tressel's office every day, it was Ginn, it was Hartline, Beanie Wells, you name it, players constantly flooding his office. P.J. Fleck and Jim Tressel to this day maintain a very close relationship. Down 10. Newman in the backfield. He is dropped for a loss. JTT along with Steel Chambers got home again.
There goes that pressure too. Jim Knowles is bringing a safety blitz right off the top left of your screen. Watch him come down. I think there goes Sonny Styles. And what that forces is you got one-on-one matchups across the offensive line. Nathan Bowe, the center, just couldn't get a solid block on Tyleik Williams, which freed up more and more red jerseys, and all of a sudden it's a tackle for loss, a 4-yard loss on first down. Not the direction you want to go playing this elite Buckeye defense.
Newman's had a hard time getting going. Evans was running better until he had to leave with an injury. Cade Manis hit as he throws, incomplete, looking for Daniel Jackson. And his third down. For more on Evans, let's check in downstairs with Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, Zach Evans came out in the first quarter there, and he went into the tent for an extensive amount of time. He came out and with a wrap on his left bicep, and you can see there he was doing some tests with trainers just to test the strength of that before wrapping his lower left arm. Guys, I'm watching him. He's walking around the sidelines looking very uncomfortable, but he's fighting through it.
That's your freshman, Brooke, from Heath, Texas. Keep an eye on that today. Cade Manis in the pocket, time, throws, and that's a first down to Cruz. So on 3rd and long, Cade Manis had time. That route took some time to pop open. It's a gain of 32 and a Golden Gopher first down.
It's a pretty good concept. There's number 4, Corey Crooms on the inside, and what you notice is you have man coverage with one safety in the middle of the field. Why the one safety matters is the underneath coverage has to maintain outside leverage. When it's one high man, you stay with outside leverage
to fundle those routes back to the safety. That time, Josh Proctor maybe could have jumped the route. That's probably what he's back there for, but he didn't. Corey Crooms did a nice job separating to move the chains on 3rd and long.
Second time the Gophers have had the ball inside Ohio State territory. Crooms, the transfer from Western Michigan. And Minnesota's going to take a timeout.
Timeout, Minnesota. Their
So
first
we'll step aside.
charge
Still
of
early
the half.
second quarter. Minnesota with the ball and get a 1-month free trial of the Big Ten Plus monthly conference pass to stream nearly 150 non-televised events from around the conference. Good looking drive here for the Gophers. Last play went for 32 yards of first down. Before that, 35 yards on their first 14 plays.
And off of that, in the context of this game, Corey, this is a big drive for the Gophers now in plus territory, coming off a big-time 3rd down conversion. Can they take advantage? These snap counts, the game within the game, it looked like Sonny Styles was going to come into the box.
Newman for about 2.
So Sonny Styles did come into the box, and I guess I'm a little bit shocked that Minnesota stuck with the run there. It looked like they were doing the check with me on the sideline, because in comes the safety, and all of a sudden you have a heavy numbered box right there. There's not a lot of space to run it. We were talking in the break there, Corey, Minnesota may have to consider, they may have to pass the ball to run the ball in this game.
Saw Sonny Styles a moment ago. He'll turn 19 next week. Buckeyes bring 4. Callie McManus over the middle, throws low. That's caught by Nick Callerup. Redshirt senior tight end from Wayzata, Minnesota, outside the Twin Cities, and it's 3rd down.
He hit Callerup, but Jordan Newman, the running back, was on a check down out to the right. There was not a lot of red jerseys out to his right, but either way, it's a completion that gets you in a 3rd and manageable situation. Here's your guy to watch. That's Daniel Jackson. One-on-one coverage with Igbenogson at the bottom of your screen.
It's a run, and the Buckeyes were ready for that. Ty Hamilton starting in place. The injured Mike Hall Jr. made the stop. No gain. It's 4th down.
It's just, let's see what, maybe you run it because you're going to go for it on 4th down there, but running it is just, you haven't had any success running against this tough Buckeye defensive front. You had one-on-one coverage with your best receiver at the bottom. I would have liked to see PJ throw the football there.
Instead, Mark Crawford, 29-year-old Aussie, try to pin Ohio State back, and that's caught by Ballard at around the 11-yard line. 10-0 Ohio State. We will see Kyle McCord of the Buckeye offense when we come back. Celebrating Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Senior night. Number 2 team in the country, the game before the game. Fans are fired up.
Beautiful night, 100,000 plus.
Corey, that just I said that last drive was big for Minnesota, so let's keep our eyes on this drive, because that decision to run on 3rd down and then punt it, there's not a lot of teams that really say, I want to line up toe-to-toe and try to score against Ohio State's offense. When you have the chance to take advantage of scoring opportunities, I think you have to do it, right? This team is just too talented on both sides of the football. So now you put a lot of pressure on your defense to get a stop and not let this game get out of hand early.
4th Buckeye drive, which begins inside its own 15-yard line. Henderson. We're close to 2.
So pre-snap there, you can just see the respect of Marvin Harrison Jr. So watch this right here. Here's your safety. And there's Marvin at the bottom of your screen. So you got number 5, Justin Wally, and then look at the respect. There's only one guy on that side of the field, and what you have is Darius Green leaking over top to try to help out.
Wally has Harrison again and will hang on to that left leg and spin him down. Defensive coordinator Joe Rossi telling us this week that in terms of the best cover man-to-man the Gophers have, it's number 5.
Yep, and we'll see if he follows him throughout the day, but really you don't want to. Yes, Justin Wally's the best cover guy, but no one goes one-on-one with Marvin Harrison Jr. The play before we showed you the story there is you got to have help over top. Darius Green or whoever at the safety position is going to have to be an insurance policy behind Justin Wally.
Henderson comes out on 3rd down and 2. Chip Traynham, 230-plus pounds, checks in, lined up to McCord's right. Instead, it's a quick flip to Ibuka, trying to get the corner. He'll have it and more. Flag comes in late as Ibuka was going down. For now, it's a first down for Ohio State and a gain of 9.
Looks like face mask on Minnesota.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 5, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first out.
He really got him twice.
Yeah.
It was the first one with the right hand, and he was trying to rip the ball out, but got a lot of face mask. Of course, that happens within the game, but this, again, Ohio State's offenses, they don't need much help moving the football down the field, right? So when you can, you'd love to avoid those penalties. But a nice job nonetheless with the play call there and Ibuka moving the chains.
McCord, pocket, throws, open, caught. Ibuka. Emeka Ibuka injured against Maryland, but as the season has played out, he's getting healthier and healthier. Did not play in the second half last week as Ohio State had a comfortable lead against Michigan State, picks up 23.
And Ryan Day does such a good job. Watch this heavy play action. Chip Traynham picks up the blitz. And what you have is that just forces the defensive front of Minnesota to respect the run, to step up, and then there is Ibuka being schemed wide open by Ryan Day's play calling for an easy completion to Kyle McCord.
4th reception for Ibuka already. Henderson goes left. And Henderson out near the 31-yard line, picked up about 4.
Timeout for an injured defensive player.
Injured Gopher is down. That is the safety. Number 12, Darius
Full
Green,
media
redshirt
timeout.
sophomore from Covington, Georgia. He is down. And we'll step aside. And I see Darius Green helped to the medical tent. He's really favoring his shoulder there. Tomorrow, Hoops Tripleheader comes your way with the Buckeyes, Spartans, and Fighting Illini. All in action coverage begins at 4 Eastern, presented by Jeep, right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. So Green comes out. Redshirt freshman Coleman Bryson comes in. And that's an area where Minnesota's pretty thin. They were thin before the game, and now Green, a starter, has to leave. And Bryson comes in. Out of the pistol on 2nd down. Henderson up the middle. And he has stood up about 2 yards shy of the first down after a gain of 4.
Ohio State leaning, not afraid to run the football, and that's just, I look at the shell coverage of Minnesota right now. It's too high shell, and they're emphasizing having a safety over top of Marvin Harrison Jr., trying to have 2 white jerseys in the vicinity for him at all times. So Ryan Day is just taking what the defense gives him, which is favorable run numbers.
Quick flip to Ibuka. Bounces it outside. Inside the 10. 1st and goal, Ohio State. Ibuka's been a busy man so far tonight, picks up 21 more.
And I just give such a lot of credit here to Ryan Day, just with the scheme, because you have TreyVeon Henderson with the run action to the right, and then the quick pitch, the quick punch from Kyle McCord to Ibuka. It happens so quickly. Minnesota's defense has no time to react, and a nice block there by Cade Stover on the edge to spring that play and get it going.
Fifth reception for Buka, already first and goal. Off play action, open into the middle, Stover and TreyVeon Jones defending for Minnesota. Broke that one up. Second and goal.
Let's see, just a little play action and a bang post down on the goal line. And it looked to me, someone might have tipped that closer to the line of scrimmage.
Call, Jake, it was tipped. Henderson top of the screen. Henderson. Not much there. Good contained that time by Minnesota. Chris Collins, number 13, eventually wrapped him up at his third down after a loss of 2.
Okay, so as you said here, Corey, it's third down. So I think we all know, let's keep our eyes on Marvin Harrison Jr., but let's also see what's the defensive structure for Joe Rossi and this Minnesota defense. What ends up happening down here is bracket coverage, but Ohio State lining up in a bunch formation to try to disguise it. Now Marvin Harrison, the inside receiver of the 3x1.
Freshman wideout Carnell Tate, bottom of your screen on third down. And incomplete, too high for Buka. And a frustrated McCord will head out. And the field goal unit is coming in. So after that, a key play to Buka set up the Buckeyes first and goal. They'll line up for 3.
Having a conversation with his coach there, Ryan Day, who told us in our meetings, and I think we all saw it. It felt like McCord played one of his best games, maybe his best game all season last week against Michigan State. Said a big credit was his eyes and his feet, his patience allowed him to be accurate. That time there, the ball just sailed on him a little bit.
Fielding from 26 is good. Made from a career-high 47 earlier. So still a 2-score game. 13-0 Ohio State. We're back at 13-0 Ohio State. 4:51 to go until halftime. The 55th all-time meeting between these two programs. Ohio State has won 12 straight. 11-play drive. A 26-yard field goal from Jaden Fielding. And a fair catch from Redding. Jersey Mike's College Football Tailgate Tour is here in Columbus, Ohio. Download the Jersey Mike's app and place your order right now. Throwing the ball around earlier. Eating some sandwiches, some Jersey Mike's on this beautiful day in Columbus. Sounds pretty good. Looks pretty good.
It's football weather. It's a nice crisp fall day. The sun is setting here in Columbus. And a big drive here for the Gophers. Under 5 minutes left in the half. The defense is held up strong, keeping this as a 2-score game. Minnesota would love to go down, leave no time on the clock for Ohio State's offense, and get some points on the board.
Buckeyes will get the ball first to begin the second half. Cade Manis with a pocket throws, and that's caught by Jackson. And he's wrestled down by Igbinosun after a gain of about 9.
I think this has to be the game plan. You have to use the quick game and throw the football and maybe get some screens going to open up the run game. I know P.J. Fleck wants to run the football, but it's been really tough to get that going so far in this game. They've had a lot of success throwing the football, especially saw it there underneath.
Rubin got away from Williams, but he's still tackled by Denzel Burke, short of the line to gain. So it's third down. Brevin Spanford, talked about him a lot leading up to the game tonight. Haven't seen him yet make an impact so far tonight, Jake.
Yeah, he was one of the impact players, right? A guy that we know to be true. If Minnesota wants to win, they have to get big number 88 involved.
Manis will keep it and will have the first down. Gain of 3.
This has been the go-to play call Minnesota ran it a bunch last week. Really, every team's running this nowadays. The resurgence of the quarterback sneak and a really nice push there. You see a great shot by our crew from the O-line and the tight ends to move the chains.
Clock running about 3 minutes to go until halftime. Good drop. Cade McManus throws high, but a nice catch made by Spencer. And then took a hit from Steel Chambers. It's a great catch. Gain of 6.
Great catch. Certainly didn't need to be that tough, right? I guess when you got Tyleik Williams right in your face, you might get a little jumpy, but nonetheless, a really nice catch by Elijah Spencer to come down with that.
Minnesota in no hurry. Cade McManus will fake the handoff. He'll take a chance and tipped in. The second deflection. Did Simon pull it down? He did. Cody Simon for now his second career pick off the deflected pass. And the Buckeyes turn the Gophers over with 3 timeouts and 2:07 to play.
What a play.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
It was first ruled a catch, but then the officials got together and now ruled incomplete.
Almost.
Has it, movement, ground.
Has it, doesn't have it. Oh.
Dean Blandino from Los Angeles agreeing with the call on the field, incomplete. So it's 3rd down and 4.
I don't know what Cade McManus was looking at there. Josh Proctor was sitting right in the zone. He was the first one to bat that up in the air, and Cody Simon almost with a big-time highlight play.
It was reviewed, by the way. Replay did take a look at it. A quick review and incomplete pass confirmed. Third down. No chance for Jackson. Davison Igbinosun was with Jackson the entire time, and Cade McManus, that was high from the get-go.
Well, we already know where Cade McManus is looking on 3rd down, and it's going to be number 9, Daniel Jackson. But look at the technique by number 1, Davison Igbinosun. He's just sitting inside, almost waiting. It's like he knew that slant was coming, and that play was shut down before it ever had a chance to get going. Great technique and great job on 3rd down by number 1, Igbinosun.
5th Gopher drive ends with the 5th punt from Crawford. Ballard watch this one bounce inside the 5. Another great punt from Crawford. He's having a great night, pinning the Buckeyes back again. Timeout. We're back in 15 seconds. A minute 55 to play. First half, Ohio State with the ball.
Number 41 is now number 66.
Leading 13-0. Buckeyes have all 3 timeouts remaining, and as we said a moment ago, Ohio State will get the ball first to begin the second half.
In these situations, it always starts with getting that first down. It's true in the backed up, it's true in the 2-minute. For Kyle McCord, you want to get that first down and get yourself some breathing room.
Henderson to the 6, picks up 3. Tackled by Kyler Baugh.
Of course, most teams in this situation are just happy with the running the clock out and going into half, but with these weapons and the explosiveness, I wouldn't be surprised if they can get that first down if Ryan Day doesn't go into attack mode.
Henderson tripped. Had some space there, then lost his footing to the 9, a gain of 3. It's 3rd down. Well, Minnesota has a couple of timeouts. A.J. Fleck electing not to use any of them for now.
Luka and Marvin Harrison Jr. to the top of the formation.
Buckeyes 3 out of 6 on third down. It's a run with Henderson. First down. Across the 20-yard line. A gain of 12.
Now here comes the hurry up, right? Everyone's getting up to the line of scrimmage. You get that first down. 47 seconds left. 3 timeouts. Clock stops on first downs.
McCord, and they're going to blow this dead.
There's a pre-snap whistle.
Flag thrown near the Minnesota sideline. A 10-second runoff could come in play here, just listening to Cole Kneppel.
Full start. Offense. Not all 11 players were set prior to the snap. This foul qualifies for a 10-second runoff. However, Ohio State has chosen to take their timeout, their first timeout of the half.
Keep it here with 39 seconds to go until halftime.
Game clock operator,
and coming
please
up,
reset
stick around
the game
for the
clock
Old Trapper halftime report with Dave Repson, James White, and Jay Lehman from our Chicago studios. Scores and highlights from this game and across the Big Ten landscape, all coming up on the Old Trapper halftime report.
First half, it's been slow and steady. We'll see here now, because after the penalty, maybe you'd say Ryan Day's okay, just running the clock out. But because he used the timeout, I think that hints at the fact he still wants to give his offense a chance to score. Now in 11 personnel with Cade Stover flexed out at the tight end position. This is a heavy passing formation.
Yeah, I'll say that because with how thin the Gophers are at linebacker and at safety, 2 timeouts, the weapons you have, I don't see why they don't take a chance to try to move the ball. But that time, McCord was pressured from Kyler Baugh. He was in his face from the get-go, and McCord had to simply chuck that one down.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a screen, and number 74, Donovan Jackson. Look at the left guard. Also the center, Carson Hinsman. You know, a miscommunication there. Someone's got to, you know, even if you're going to run out and get ahead on the screen, you still got to get the play going. That first block is key. You can't just leave the nose tackle, Kyler Baugh, completely unblocked, because that's what happens.
Timeouts remaining. Second down and 15. McCord throws short, and that's caught by Stover. Ryan Seelig, linebacker, made the stop. Seelig was questionable to play here tonight. Got nicked up against Purdue last week. Made the play along with Danny Strigo. And the Buckeyes was timeouts, but in no hurry here. McCord pressured and sacked back at the 11-yard line. John Joyner, redshirt junior, with his 5th sack this season. And McCord a bit slow and hobbling a bit as he will head to the locker room here at the half. He's not running at his best right now. 13-0 Ohio State at the break here in Columbus.
That's a sloppy end there to the half for Ohio State. Watch right there. John Joyner working on the right tackle, number 70, Josh Fryer, and just gets beat really clean in a painful tackle. Oh my goodness.
So a storyline to follow. 13-0 at the break. Let's check in downstairs with Brooke Fletcher.
Coach, we saw some frustration from Kyle McCord in those final few minutes of the first half. We saw you talking to him. What was your conversation?
Frustration.
Just with the way that the offense that maybe wasn't able to convert in those last few drives, what did you see from him?
No, Kyle's working hard. Missed a couple throws down here in the red zone, but we're moving the ball. But now we just got to finish these drives off, and had a few drives, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inside the 10-yard line. So we got to move that thing out towards midfield, get some first downs, and then get in a rhythm and finish drives in the red zone.
Cody Simon, he almost had that pick there. Defense just picking up right where they left off. What impressed you?
We're playing well. Getting our hands on some balls. Proc. I hit him right in the chest. He makes that play. Who knows what could have happened right there? I think we're doing a decent job. We just got to play a little better in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Brooke, thank you for that. 13-0 at the break. Buckeyes will have the ball to begin the second half. Stay tuned. The Old Trapper halftime report with Dave, James, and Jay is coming up when we come back. Columbus getting set for the start of the second half. Ohio State with a 13-0 lead at the break. Buckeyes will have the ball first to begin the second half. We saw Kyle McCord kind of limp off the field, but he looks good there. And we'll have more on McCord coming up momentarily. But here are our first half stats brought to you by Duluth Trading, designed and tested to do. A first half dominated statistically by Ohio State, but Minnesota credit the Golden Gopher defense and really their punter, Mark Crawford. So it's a 2-score game, 13-0. Ohio State leads at the break. Welcome back to Ohio Stadium. Jake Butt, I'm Corey Provis. First half thoughts from a first half, 13-0. Buckeyes have the lead, but momentum was tough to seize there for a while.
Yeah, I guess it was a little bit of a confusing first half, too, because as we showed this with the stats there, Ohio State is moving the football. Credit to the punter for backing them up, but they haven't been able to capitalize and finish drives. Only 1 touchdown on the day. Also credit to Minnesota's defense for stepping up. But this game, as much as Ohio State has dominated it, they haven't seized full control, and yet Minnesota also hasn't shown much offensively to give you any of us much hope that they're going to be able to turn this thing around.
Gon Kesich, left-footed kicker, will send this one away. Xavier Johnson awaits at his own goal line. And the Buckeyes will start from the 25. Let's check it downstairs with Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, Corey, you were just mentioning Kyle McCord, that last play of the first half where it looked bad with that sack there. Take a look at that right leg. It had a weird angle, but he did limp off the field going into halftime. I don't have any updates, but it is good news that he was able to jog out for the second half.
So McCord, seen there, number 6, certainly moving around better at that point than he was as the half came to a close. Something to follow as the game moves along here tonight. TreyVeon Henderson bounces it outside. Henderson, off he goes. 3rd gear, 4th gear, 5th gear. Henderson is gone. Touchdown, Ohio State. No flags.
There was a stretch there where people forgot how special TreyVeon Henderson really is. He showed us as a freshman, one of the best backs in the country, dealt with injuries, and now down the stretch of the season, he's proving why, once again, that he is up there with the best of them. Great job blocking up front, great job blocking by the wide receivers downfield, and all TreyVeon Henderson needs is a crease. He'll send it home from there.
Career-long 75-yard touchdown run for TreyVeon Henderson. Banged up earlier in the year, but this guy has just gotten healthier and healthier. Inside, then outside. See ya.
It's really just a matter of, can you give him a crease? Can you give him space? He's got that home run speed, and really, it started with the vision. That was a run off the right side of the offensive line. Good job on the backside by Josh Simmons and Donovan Jackson to wash the defensive front by Minnesota. And Henderson, a little cut back, another cut back. Hit the crease. Good night.
It's a long touchdown run for Henderson. A Minnesota defense that was gashed for over 350 yards rushing alone last week at a 19-point loss against Purdue. So 2 touchdowns for the Buckeyes tonight, both to TreyVeon Henderson, now 36 in his decorated career, and 31 of the 36 rushing. And no return. Henderson finding the end zone. It's not a surprise. Most rushing touchdowns amongst active Big Ten players. Blake Corum leads the way with 51. Braylon Allen's been banged up. And now Henderson. 2 more tonight. And a kiss to the crowd here at the shoot.
You know, it's been a quiet night in the passing game, right? We haven't called Marvin Harrison Jr.'s name a bunch, but really that's because of the structure of Minnesota's defense playing too high, a respect to the weapons outside. Of course, now the strategy may have to change. You may need to load the box to stop the run.
McManus steps up from behind, balls out on the ground, picked up by JTT off the strip sack. McManus was pressured, the ball popped out, and the Buckeyes pounce. And it's 1st and goal.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Ohio State.
Jack Sawyer knocked it out. JT Tuimoloau picked it up and nearly took it back all the way.
And JTT, he's coming over to the sideline because, look, number 7, Jordan Hancock saying, pitch it to me. He thought he was going to get it. JTT saying, Hancock, can you block for me, brother? We're trying to get into the end zone.
Instead, he ran his teammate over. Watch number 7. Hancock wants the ball. He said, nope, I got it. Now move.
Oh. JTT said, hey, this is what happens when you don't block, man. You might get lit up like that.
McCord, pocket, end zone, incomplete. Looking for Ibuka. Good coverage there from Wally. Now, when it comes to the red zone, popular target has been that man right there. Today's advanced stat brought to you by IFS. Marvin Harrison Jr., 21 red zone targets. Daniel Jackson from Minnesota, 13. See if the high school teammates, college teammates, unite again here on 2nd and goal.
Look at the structure, though. So there's Harrison Jr. and there's Tyler Nubin. Now you got some space over there to work.
Train him. Runs into the arms of Jalen Logan Redding. 3rd down.
You know, down in the red zone, everything gets tighter, right? There's less field to defend. There's less grass. There's really only 15 yards to work with here, so it helps the defense. Here's your guy, Marvin Harrison, down here one-on-one. And Ibuka's there right next to him. And then here comes the safety in Minnesota, but a little bit of space down there.
Quick throw, it's Harrison on the slant. Touchdown, Ohio State. Tuimoloau recovered the loose ball, giving McCord and Harrison a chance to connect once again. 2 touchdowns in 55 seconds of action.
And that's where you have to go with the football. It was really one-on-one coverage with Justin Wally. The safety was very late getting over there. He was late getting lined up. And anytime you have one-on-one at any point in the field, but especially in the red zone, you got to give the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison Jr. in his 37th career game, 31 career touchdowns, including 30 receiving touchdowns. Buckeyes by 27. Career receiving touchdowns now for Marvin Harrison Jr. Tied with Devin Smith, 3rd all-time in program history, chasing Chris Olave, David Boston. And keep in mind, any Big Ten championship game, college football playoff, you name it, any subsequent games coming up. Stats continue. 27-0. 14 quick points for Ohio State here in this 3rd quarter. And no return. Let's go back to the touchdown, Jake, a moment ago.
This is a great scheme by Ryan Day. So here's where I want to take you first. That's Cade Stover on the shallow. That occupies all 3 of those guys. And then you got Emeka Egbuka on the corner, who takes these 2. That frees up a one-on-one matchup for Marvin Harrison Jr. And all Ryan Day is trying to do is get Marvin in one-on-one coverage. When he does that, that is the result. Great scheme by Ryan Day. Easy read for Kyle McCord. He puts it on the money to his guy, number 18, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Jordan Newman. Good run here for nearly 7. Minnesota and the offense so far here today. Crawford, really, he's been the MVP, the punter for Minnesota today. Caligmanis stripped. And it led to another Buckeye touchdown here early in this third quarter.
Kind of talked about it in the first half, Corey. Some of those third down and fourth down decisions. Opportunities are few and far between. You gotta take some chances to try to get points when you do have the opportunity.
Caligmanis throws, and that's caught by Jackson. And a first down out to the 40-yard line. Later tonight, we've got more Ohio State and Minnesota coming up. This time it'll happen in volleyball. Minnesota and Ohio State at Saturday Night Volleyball, powered by Unleaded 88 tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Fifth first down picked up by the Gophers here tonight. From their own 40-yard line. Newman got away from Jordan Hancock and picked up 2. Let's take a look at tonight's quarterback comparison presented by Unleaded 88.
I mean, you know, I think for Minnesota fans and what we've been talking about up here in the booth is the 11 attempts for Caligmanis. It's just there's been a couple third downs where I think we both agreed, Corey, you'd love to see Caligmanis get a chance to throw it and convert. On the flip side for McCord, just a steady game. Hasn't been perfect, hasn't been his best game, but steady.
Good drop, Caligmanis, and through the hands of Jackson. And it's third down. Brooke?
Out of halftime, I asked PJ Fleck, well, what's going to be the key for this offense to find the end zone? And he kind of laughed. He goes, that's a great question. He goes, we have to execute the play calls. We're throwing balls in the dirt. We're throwing them off the shoulder. We have to move the ball with efficiency and capitalize on these big plays. He also gave me an injury update, guys. Darius Green and Zach Evans, they are both out the rest of the game.
All right, Brooke, that is significant. Zach Evans, he had some positive carries before he got hurt earlier. He's out, and the secondary even thinner now as Green is done for the night. On third down, Caligmanis, and that's picked off by Jordan Hancock. Hancock inside the 25, inside the 15. His second pick this season. And the Buckeyes turn over Caligmanis once again.
That is an excellent job by Jordan Hancock. There he is, right there in the middle of your screen. There we go. Let's try that. There we go. Watch him. So they send the motion outside. Hancock's pointing, identifying it. Look, he's dropping out underneath it, but he's reading Caligmanis' eyes the whole way. So he widens with the curl route outside, but maintains his eyes with Caligmanis, comes underneath it, and finishes the play with an interception.
Ohio State's defense this season before tonight, 4 defensive touchdowns, and nearly adding 2 more. Tuimoloau thought he had a chance at a scoop and score. Hancock.
Result of the play is an interception. 1st and 10 for Ohio State. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on multiple players for posing. Offensive unsportsmanlike conduct number 7. Number 44. Number 33. Number 10. Number 24. And number 7.
Okay.
And number 1. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct foul toward disqualification. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st and 10, Ohio State.
I want to bring in Dean Blandino here in a second because I just listened to Cole Kneppel label every player.
Yeah.
If that's mandatory or just saying multiple players and you move on, but Cole Kneppel, he made it a point. Yep. We're in prime time, and we're going to identify each and every player who posed.
It reminds me of the false start everybody but the center.
Right.
You know, but I guess because of it being a personal foul for celebration, you're labeling them because the second one would mean an ejection, right? So funny, a lot of names in there. Good job tracking the numbers. But I believe they're doing the 15 just in case another one comes about. Potential ejection.
Back out to the 29-yard line. Field position has completely switched here in the second half. McCord throws the other way and hits Henderson. That's a good design. McCord brought his body left, threw back right, and found Henderson for a 13-yard play, first down.
Once again, a really good scheme there by Ryan Day, too, because sometimes you come off play action, everybody's thinking, where's the receivers? Marvin, Ibuka, Cade, Stover. Well, that time they ran the play action to TreyVeon Henderson and just let him run a wheel route down the sideline. Got lost, and a nice throw there by McCord to connect with him.
Henderson 2 touchdowns already. And now train him inside the 15.
Nonetheless, Corey, it's really good to see McCord, off play action there, moving around. That was a scary end to the half. Looked really, really bad when he got sacked by Jaw Joyner, but he's been moving around pretty well. And so far, coming out firing here in the second half.
Ohio State last week led Michigan State here 35-3 at halftime. Second half, then many starters sat the rest of the game. You wonder if Ohio State scores again, if Ryan Day does something comparable but too high for Julian Fleming. Third down.
No, you're spot on, right? First things first is you gotta win the game, and certainly a lot of football left to be played here, but Ohio State in complete control. Everyone has next week circled. November 25th in Ann Arbor, the number 2 versus the number 3 team. A lot riding on that game next week.
Michigan won today, survived at Maryland. Ohio State led 13-0 at halftime. Adding to that quickly.
1-on-1 for Marv.
Swing pass behind, train him. And it's fourth down, so Minnesota brought some pressure. Incomplete pass. And we'll see Fielding as he will try for his third field goal here tonight. And some coaching from Ryan Day for his junior quarterback, Kyle McCord.
That's what Minnesota does in reference to next week, too. That was kind of simulated pressure where, pressure is when you bring more than 4, more than 5. Let's see what we got here. When you're bringing extra bodies, simulated pressure is when you still only rush 3 or 4, but you're changing assignments. It can confuse the quarterback like it kind of did to Kyle McCord there.
2-yard try, thrown and snap, Merkel hold, and Fielding is 3 for 3. 32-yard try, the Buckeyes 17 points in the first 5 minutes of the second half. 30-0 Ohio State, early third quarter. Corey Provis, Jake Butt. Ohio State, Michigan, of course, coming up next week. And Jake, tell us about a wonderful initiative you started last week.
Okay, so this has come together in rapid time. The thought happened on this past Sunday. Of course, it is the game. You see the GameGivesBack.com. Well, what is it? We're leveraging the hatred, the passion, the competitive fire of the rivalry to raise money. Michigan versus Ohio State. All proceeds, the only cost we have is credit card processing fees. All proceeds will go back to the communities through the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan and Central Ohio. Joshua Perry, a friend of the program, a former captain here for Ohio State. He's representing and is the face of the Ohio State side of this fundraiser. I am representing the Michigan side of this fundraiser. So head over to the GameGivesBack.com or scan the QR code. Those things are live right now. We are trying to take the passion of this rivalry and turn it into something really positive. I've already raised over $30,000 that will go directly to the families and kids in need during this holiday season.
And if you're wondering, see that picture, that is Bryce Harper, by the way. Former MVP here with his wife tonight. His wife competed here, played here, soccer, and Bryce Harper and his wife at the shoe to take in this one here tonight. Bryce, he joined our crew this morning on PTN Tailgate. Nice of him to spend some time with Jake about his cause earlier. Big run here for Newman as the Gophers need some positivity offensively here. They get that from Newman. His best carry tonight, it goes for 21.
Well, this is, as you mentioned, the best carry. It's been really tough to get anything going on the run game. And Tyleek Williams, number 91, he just kind of overran that a little bit, and it was a good job by number 30, Jordan Newman, kind of feeling that and coming all the way back around. That run started to the right, and just like TreyVeon Henderson's big run earlier in the game, it's those bounce backs and those cutbacks that lead to explosive gains.
That's the longest play from scrimmage for Minnesota tonight, 21-yard gain. It's Newman again, but he is met by Williams, then spins out near the 49-yard line to pick up 3. Tyleek Williams, the junior from Manassas, Virginia, part of the Mud Dogs, the nickname this front has from The Waterboy, the great movie, South Central Louisiana State University. Sawyer, and Hall, and Hamilton, Williams, Tuimoloau, that group call themselves the Mud Dogs, making Bobby Boucher proud.
Making Jim Knowles proud too, right? We spent a good long while talking about the increased production of this defensive line this year.
High snap. Handled by Callie McManus. And Newman out to the 50, tackled by Hamilton. That was third down. Spent some time with Jim Knowles, the second-year defensive coordinator, yesterday. And among the questions we asked him about his talented group, has this group met, exceeded your expectations this season? He said, this group has met my expectations. How well they played.
Part of that is because the expectations are sky high, right?
In the pocket, and that's dropped, and that has happened far too often to that man right there. Brevin Spanford drops, cost him so much earlier this season. Hangs out of that one. That's a first down.
Oh, even without the drop, this is a preview of next week. You see Rev Spanford, the tight end, just running a little slant route, a little shallow route. Well, we know Michigan loves to use their tight ends, A.J. Barner and Colston Loveland. That's going to be a nice matchup next week between Sonny Styles and the safeties versus the Michigan tight ends. A great pass there by Callie McManus, just a blatant drop.
P.J. Fleck all week long certainly talked about how drops have hurt his team offensively. Spanford, Altman Bell, a couple of drops last week. Corey Crooms as well. And P.J. Fleck's team has to punt. 30-0 Ohio State. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. By Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. And by Cade, celebrate every moment with Cade. How do Jake Butt and Joshua Perry get ready for the game? This, boom! Jake on one side, Joshua on the other. Let's meet. Spin, dive, dance, battle. Dallin Hayden checks in at tailback. For the first time tonight, his third game all season long, and Hayden, number 5, runs into Jack Henderson. After a gain of 2, Hayden's name came up in our discussions with Ryan Day yesterday. Sophomore tailback from Memphis, Tennessee, his third game all season long. Remember, 4 is the number to keep in mind. You can keep your red shirt should you play in 4 or fewer games. And with Hayden getting a chance tonight, should he even play next week, no matter what happens in any following game, bowl game, Big Ten championship, that would not go against the 4. So he'd be able to maintain his redshirt season and not burn any eligibility. It's caught short of the first down by Carnell Tate, talented freshman wideout from Chicago. Marvin Harrison Jr. paid Tate a compliment beginning of the season, saying when it's all said and done, that man right there could be one of the best to ever come out of this program.
No pressure, though.
No pressure.
No pressure.
On third down, Fleming. And forward progress will give him the first down to the 27-28-yard line, a gain of 4, first down, Ohio State.
It's a really little thing. It's, of course, a 2-3 yard gain. Watch number 4 here at the top of your screen. And then there it is right there, what we call that working negative, work back to the quarterback. Not just a 5-yard hitch and stop. Had Fleming not worked back to the quarterback, that play is batted down. And you know, it's fourth down, but it's those little details, right? Of course, the athleticism, Ohio State's receiving core does everything right. It's those little details that separate them.
And even awareness, knowing what you need to get that first down. Hayden! First down out to the 43-yard line. Picks up 15.
Offense is starting to find their rhythm, and that's a great job there by we're looking at the right tackle, Josh Fryer. You got your tight end, I believe that was Cade Stover, just creating a nice big hole for Hayden to run right up through.
Remember how beat up Ohio State was with its backfield last season. Well, Hayden last season, he had 3 100-yard games. Getting a 3-touchdown game against Maryland last season. He's upended by TreyVeon Jones. Next Saturday, Indiana and Purdue collide for the Old Oaken Bucket. Then Northwestern and Illinois meet for the Land of Lincoln Trophy. Also, Maryland takes on Rutgers. It all starts with Big Ten Tailgate next Saturday only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. For a penultimate weekend of Big Ten football here on the Big Ten Network. And trophy games coming up next week. Hayden slithers his way near the 50. And it'll be third down. So the numbers for Ohio State, the balance has been there tonight. Passing yards down considerably here tonight. But the ground game was effective early, and it's been effective here in the second half. McCord throws slightly behind. The adjustment made by Fleming and a sliding catch and a first down inside the Minnesota 45.
Just about that balance to continue the conversation. That's Ryan Day as a play caller and an offensive mind. Not rigid in his belief, not saying we have to do this or we have to do this. He's looking at the defensive structure and attacking their weak points. Today, it's Minnesota in a lot of too high shell. A lot of guys back to take away the deep pass, so Ryan Day's seeing that and has really emphasized the run.
McCord will keep it and dive. And it's second down after a gain of 1. So we've seen a lot of Dallin Hayden here on this drive. Marvin Harrison Jr. on the sideline right now. Wonder if his night is over.
Got a hunch I know where his mind is, their mind is.
Henderson with his helmet off. He's had a big night. All day. And that's caught by Patrick Gerd. First reception for the senior from nearby New Albany, Ohio. Came here as a walk-on. He's got ties here with Ohio State. His dad was a linebacker with the Buckeyes, late 80s, early 90s. Popular player in this program. Getting a chance here on senior night. And a nice reception.
And a really nice job there, too. A couple great shots of Kyle McCord, just being patient and standing tall and strong in the pocket. No panic, working his progressions.
10th play of the drive. McCord throws, and that is caught by Xavier Johnson. His first reception tonight. Captain, 14-yard gain. His final game here. 6th-year senior at home. Nice look there. Clearly a catch. Hung on to it, tumbling down to the ground. Another good story. Guy that came here, arrived as a walk-on from Cincinnati. How to hit the blocko. As a tribute to Bill Willis. Hayden again.
Xavier Johnson's a guy, just keep your eyes on number 0 next week as well, and really down the stretch of the season, because he's so versatile. He adds such a unique dynamic maybe doesn't run or play exactly like a Deebo Samuel, but he's used within the offense like a Deebo Samuel. Sometimes he'll get carries. He'll line up in the slot. He'll line up outside. He's a Swiss Army knife, which is really useful for a guy like Ryan Day, who's so creative. If he can draw it up, Xavier Johnson can execute.
Hayden again. 70 seconds to go here in the third quarter. This was a 13-0 game at halftime, and then it took about 55 seconds for the Buckeyes to score twice. And Ryan Day and Ohio State leading 30-0. A time-consuming drive, more than 7 minutes. As the Buckeyes will head to the fourth quarter with a convincing lead. Pressure coming. McCord throws. Johnson cuts inside to the 5. First and goal, Ohio State.
Oh no. It's Tyler Nubin.
And Nubin is down. Second team All Big Ten selection last year. Two-time Defensive Player of the Week this season for Minnesota. Great player. In his 54th career game. He has potential to play on Sundays. And he is down right now and clearly frustrated. Beat #1 Wisconsin to take over the top ranking in the sport. Quarter will expire here. Ohio State 17 unanswered here in the third quarter, but was a 13-0.
All right, there's a fun game we can play any week you're watching Ohio State's offense. Which weapon is going to go off? Well, today it was answered by number 32, TreyVeon Henderson, proving once again why he's one of the best backs in all of college football. He's done it inside. He's popped around the outside. He's caught a couple passes from McCord. His health is the difference maker to take this Buckeye offense to the next level.
Now look at the difference there with him, without him. 166 yards a game, nearly 5 yards a carry. Long drive on first down. Inside the 2. That was Hayden. Sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. 6 career touchdowns. Henderson's night. Saw him plenty. He's done as he watches from the sidelines. Minnesota all night long has 6 first downs. This drive alone, Ohio State has 6. On second and goal, Hayden denied. Tyler Nubin, good to see him back out there, made the tackle for Minnesota. Great player.
They got Chip Trainum in the game here. Senior on senior day, and remember, converted linebacker, big body.
McCord will float this one. End zone caught. It's Stover. The two-time captain in his 47th career game has his 10th career touchdown.
Well, that's a great play call there by Ryan Day. Here's your guy, Cade Stover, who's going to start with a block at the line of scrimmage. You have a big fullback. You get Chip Trainum in there, and it looks like Cade Stover is trying to seal the edge, and then waits. 1 count, 2 count. He releases on the block, gets open in the end zone, and Kyle McCord finds his big tight end for a touchdown.
16-play drive. It took over 9 minutes. And McCord was perfect on the drive. 7 out of 7. Capping it off. Touchdown pass to Cade Stover, who arrived in Columbus at 220 pounds. Former linebacker, talented tight end. Saturday, December 2nd, don't miss the 2023 Big Ten Football Championship game presented by Discover. Only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Will Ohio State represent the East? Iowa can wrap up the West with a win tonight. They're losing right now at home against Illinois. Will it be Ohio State or will it be Michigan? As the two rivals meet again next week in Ann Arbor. Their catch from Redding. Speaking of the game, Buckeyes, Wolverines, little history. The 10-year war between 69 and 78 saw both teams hold top 5 rankings. At the beginning, though, of the 21st century, it was all Ohio State. Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer dominated. But Michigan has won the last 2. The first time since 1999-2000, Ohio State has lost consecutive games to the Wolverines. 39 total yards this half for the Gophers as they start this drive from their own 25-yard line. Lubin trying to cut back, flag thrown.
Holding. Defense, number 93. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It's on Hero Kanu with the penalty for Ohio State. So Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan won today. Buckeyes on their way to staying undefeated. Give me an early take on how that game may play out a week from today.
Well, I think both teams have evolved since the matchup last year. Let's just start with Ohio State because here we are in Columbus. Jim Knowles, this defense has stepped up. The question mark was, can you stop the explosive plays? Significantly improved in that sense. Okay, you're introducing a new quarterback, a couple new pieces on the O-line.
Rubin.
The Buckeye offense has evolved even within the season right now where they seem to really be hitting their stride as a team. Meanwhile, in Ann Arbor, the question for Michigan was, can J.J. McCarthy step up? Can they throw their way to victories? Well, that's been their identity for the majority of the season. Of course, they leaned heavily on the run game to beat Penn State. The defense has also evolved, seemingly a blend of the 2021 and the 2022 season. Both teams are rightfully two of the best in college football. Of course, with everything going on outside the game, this is really, I mean, it has the makings of one of the most special, intense, passionate rivalry games, even beyond just this specific rivalry, of all time, right? For all the implications, both teams undefeated going in the game. A trip to Indy on the line, a potential playoff berth. I don't know if Michigan has done enough to lose the game and still make the college football playoff. No Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. There's so many storylines, even beyond the excellence that both these teams have showcased on the field each Saturday. I just can't wait to watch.
McManus sings this one, caught by Spencer. Into Ohio State territory, near the 46-yard line. Gain of 8.
Where do you think, Corey, I mean, in terms of the rivalry, where does it stack up in rivalries in all of sports?
I think what's enhanced it even more is how much it has mattered. It hasn't just been, hey, it's Ohio State and Michigan meeting again with one team on the verge of doing something special, where the other team, when Ohio State was dominating Michigan year in, year out, there were times Michigan would enter that game with multiple losses. Yeah. But what's enhanced it even more is the winner of that game not only goes on to win the Big Ten championship, a chance to, but keeps their national championship hopes alive. And that's the same for the other team. And I think that's what's elevated and keeps that rivalry so fun, so captivating, more than just the average college football fan may say, okay, it's neat, Ohio State, Michigan. But when there's so much on the line, how that could impact the final prize, it draws even more eyes to it and enhances the experience even more.
Spot on.
Cal McManus kept that, and he is dropped back near the 48-yard line. College football playoff rankings. Georgia winning big tonight. Not over yet at Tennessee, Florida State, Ohio State, Michigan. Okay, looking at the 4. because it happened last year with Ohio State losing to Michigan, but still got their way into the Final Four. How could that happen again for the loser of next week for two Big Ten teams to still be back in the mix?
I think it could happen for Ohio State. I do not think it could happen for Michigan, and the committee kind of communicated that.
Cade Manis throws, sliding, diving catch, nicely done by Jackson.
When the initial playoff rankings came out, the committee communicated how they value Ohio State's schedule. As we just proved this catch right here, really nice catch there by Daniel Jackson. But when the committee put Ohio State as the #1 team, they told us as fans that they carry a lot of weight for that victory over Notre Dame on the road earlier in the season. Of course, both teams have beat Penn State, but Ohio State has built that insurance because of the Notre Dame game.
Keeper for Cade Manis had to reach the 34, and that's where they're going to spot him and signal a first down.
And the other piece is you know, if Ohio State were to lose a close game on the road, right, like that's understandable because of both the talent of both teams. If Michigan loses a close one at home, though, I just don't see. There's so many good teams. Washington and Oregon knocking right on the door. Texas, Alabama. There's so many good teams across the landscape of college football. I don't think Michigan has done enough with their schedule to lose that one and still get in.
On the boot for Cade Manis. And he'll hit Newman. And is wrapped up by Turner. Ryan Turner makes the stop. 8:40 and counting to play here in the fourth quarter. 37-0.
You know, Corey, I just think about, as we continue that conversation, the state of college football. I go back to the introduction of NIL, the transfer portal. And of course, everyone has opinions on everything, but there was a certain percentage of college football fans that said that was going to be the end of the purity of college football. And yet, for every reason we just discussed, I don't know that there's been a year with more parity than we've had this college football season.
Newman hit and slammed down in the backfield for a loss. Third down and 9 upcoming.
Ohio State's done a great job of stuffing the run. Linebacker run-throughs. That time, Gabe Powers. Yep. And that's going to be the big story next week against Michigan. Obviously, what killed them last year, they played great football for almost 60 minutes. But it was a few plays that burned them defensively that was the difference when Michigan was here in Columbus and left with a victory last year.
Third down, Cade Manis trying to step up, and he is swarmed at the 36-yard line. Caden Curry out of Center Grove High School in Greenwood, Indiana, with the play.
It's as much a coverage sack as anything, right? Cade Manis was holding on to that ball for a long time. And Curry's eventually able to get home, and a good job, too, because this is a real long field goal. And it's a point of pride for any defense to try to pitch a shutout.
John Kesich trying from 54 yards out. Has a big leg, and he nailed it. Known as the Serbian Hammer. His 22nd made field goal. That leads the Big Ten. And a 54-yard boot that matches a career best. Gophers on the board, still 37-3. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by DirecTV. Stop compromising, start watching, upgrade to DirecTV. Marvin Harrison Jr. adding to his incredible numbers, a touchdown reception tonight. His 31st touchdown overall, 30th career receiving touchdown as his night is over, as is Kyle McCord. Two high school teammates, college teammates, connecting yet again, 37-3 Buckeyes with 6:43 to go in the fourth quarter.
full
So the
media timeout.
Buckeyes will have the ball at the 25, and we will see Lincoln Kienholz back out there, the freshman. Later tonight, the Buckeyes and the Gophers meet in prime time. Saturday night volleyball powered by Atlantic 88 tonight at 8 Eastern right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Kyle McCord, his night is over. Better second half than first half. 212, 2 scores, no picks. Your assessment of Kyle McCord here tonight?
A steady day. It wasn't perfect, particularly in the first half, but he did his job. He did his role. 67% completion rate, and really it's within the context of what Minnesota presented, which was a lot of too high shell, which meant Ryan Day had to run the ball.
This carry, speaking of running, for Evan Pryor. His 4th game of the season, junior from Cornelius, North Carolina. And there is Lincoln Kienholz, 6'2" freshman from Pierre, South Dakota. Just the 2nd ever player from the state of South Dakota to sign with Ohio State. We'll flip it to Pryor. He'll cut back and dive down. Yeah, so Kienholz, the 2nd ever player to sign with the Buckeyes from South Dakota. The prior, Grant Schmidt, in 2015. Transferred, though, without playing in a game. And we asked Ryan Day about Kienholz a bit yesterday. They watched some film on him. Great athlete, played all the sports in high school, but really popped on film. You just could see the talent. And that was visible when they began to really take a look at Kienholz. Pryor, brought down by Jones.
For Kienholz too, right, Corey? It's just certain programs have their identity and their niche, and I don't want to limit any program when I say that, but Ohio State can't deny the fact that they have developed quarterbacks and wide receivers as well as anyone.
Yeah, that conversation, it looks like Ryan Day is saying, hey, take me through that. Take me through that 3rd down throw, what you saw, and your decision. There's a head coach, freshman quarterback who's getting a chance to play. Devin Brown, he got nicked up during warm-ups last week. Gophers brought some pressure.
You're right, and it looked like he had a hitch on that one, so I think Ryan Day wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive.
Down inside the 20-yard line. 37-3 timeout. All right, Dave, thank you. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage of the game all week long here on the Big Ten Network. Tune in all week long as we get you set for Michigan, Ohio State next week. And you can see that game on Fox with Gus, Joel, and Jenny next Saturday at noon Eastern from Ann Arbor. Callie McManus, long throw incomplete, intended for Jackson. Speaking of next weekend, next Saturday, Indiana meets Purdue, Northwestern, and Illinois, and Maryland meets Rutgers. Big Ten football next Saturday, right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Oh, Minnesota, by the way, speaking of rivalries, the Golden Gophers is Ryan Day. He'll, of course, see Michigan next week, but Minnesota will play Wisconsin next week for Paul Bunyan's Axe. Here's Sean Tyler. He's had issues hanging out in the football this season. He's wrapped up and tackled after a gain of about 1 by Taiwan Malone and his 3rd down. Minnesota with 5 wins. They'll need to defeat their rival in the Badgers next week. That game will be played in Minneapolis to be bowl eligible. Tyler, and he's popped. Big hit by C.J. Hicks. Sophomore linebacker lowered the boom, and it's 4th down. Wisconsin, Minnesota, both teams entering the week with 5 wins. Minnesota won back-to-back meetings for the first time since 93-94. Currently in Minneapolis, they showcase the Floyd of Rosedale. Beat Iowa earlier this year. They currently have the Axe. First time they've had both trophies at the same time since 1993. They'll need to beat Wisconsin to keep both in the Twin Cities next week.
As I said, Corey, the 6th win, the bowl game.
Fair catch at the 40-yard.
Another really great day for this Ohio State defense, and one of the storylines going back to the offseason was explosive plays. It hurt this Buckeye defense at times last year, but significant improvement this year.
Pryor tumbles his way out to the 44.
He went from 48th in the country last year and giving up explosives to 4th in the country, and it's been a group effort across the board. You see the D-line having a disruptive day, forcing some turnovers. When the D-line's on fire, that means the secondary could step up. They could play a little bit more coverage. As you saw Jordan Hancock step in front of a throw there for an interception, but across the board, this unit has stepped up. I think Jim Knowles and Ryan Day, they had a conversation to say, as long as we don't give up those big, easy explosives, it's going to be really hard to drive the ball consistently against our 11 guys.
Pryor again. Coming up after the game, the Big Ten Live Football Postgame presented by State Farm breaks down all the action from this one tonight. Final 2 minutes. Ryan Day and number 2 Ohio State will improve to 11-0, 8-0 in Big Ten play.
Can you feel it?
Oh yeah.
Can you feel it? The anticipation?
Keenholz swings it out. That's a first down. For Joe Royer. There's a senior getting a chance to make a play on senior night. This was a 13-0 game at halftime. And then the defense for the Buckeyes, play after play, bringing pressure, forcing turnovers, and the Buckeyes capitalized to break it open.
Well, it all comes down to this. These 2 teams, Ohio State and Michigan, were set on a collision course all the way back to this past summer. 2 of the best teams in college football, each held up their end of the bargain going into this game undefeated.
Pryor. And he's tackled by Coleman Bryson. And that'll be the final play of the game. Michigan won earlier. Buckeyes do the same here tonight. Ryan Day, now 39-2 in Big Ten play in his 5th season as Ohio State's head coach. Ohio State, Michigan, with so much on the line coming up next week in Ann Arbor. 37-3 the final. Buckeyes prevail. Jake, some final thoughts from this convincing Ohio State win.
It just seems like they're hitting their stride at the perfect time. This defense is good enough to take them anywhere they want to go, and Kyle McCord, he'll be finding 18 all day.
That'll do it from Columbus. For Jake Buck, Brooke Fletcher, producer Bart Fox, director Andrew Blaustein, the best crew on television, Corey Provis saying so long and good night. Big Ten Live Football Postgame presented by State Farm is coming up when we come back.